NFL draft is right around the corner, and thank God, because I know all of you, including myself, is tired of really just talking about it, ready to get into this bad boy to see who's going to be additions to the Lions' defense and offense, and for this season coming up where we have a lot of high hopes. So in this video, we're going to be talking about my top 6 ranked prospects for the Lions to select at pick 6. This is if the Lions stay at 6, so we're not trading out, just how it would fall, what would be the best options for the Detroit Lions. But look, even my 6th option, that would be the worst on my list, is not a bad option. Why? Because when you're picking this high, the talent is very good. But we look at the Lions' needs right now, and there's a lot of needs here, I think, at least wants/needs. Big need here for me is the Detroit Lions defensive line, interior defensive tackle. We thought that Levi Onwuzurike potentially could be a great young anchor for the Lions defensive line. He has shown inability to stay healthy, been injured, and he had spine surgery. We need somebody next to Aleem McNeil, a young player, to disrupt the interior to the defensive line. To me, that's a number 1 need for Lions. Linebackers, my number 2 need here. We need to have a young player that is big and physical that can lock down the middle of this defense. We do. I like Malcolm Rodriguez, Derek Barnes, Alex Anzalone, but we need to get better and more physical at that position. Interior offensive line, absolutely no doubt. Halapoulivaati Vaitai, shown so far as a career with the Lions, inability to stay healthy like Levi, so you can't really count on him. Also, Graham Glasgow, he is just a veteran. Running back is more of a want because the Lions filled a ton of needs here in free agency. Like to just upgrade that position. Same with the cornerback position. We're good this year, but in 2024, we only have 2 corners on the roster, and you can fill a lot of these needs and wants in this year's draft here because the Lions got 2 picks in the first round, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 5th. So they don't necessarily have to go with a major need at 6. They could look elsewhere as well. But I want you to name me a player you want the Detroit Lions to draft. One player. It could be from round 1 or all the way to an undrafted guy. Put a player in the comments section. My number 6 option here is the cornerback Christian Gonzalez here out of Oregon. I love Christian Gonzalez, but if you look at the Lions draft picks, we have a ton of draft picks. We don't necessarily have to get corner early in this year's draft because we did a phenomenal job in free agency upgrading that position with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, with Sutton, with Mosley, and you already got Jeff Okudah, and you already have Jerry Jacobs. So the Lions are pretty good at that position. But Christian Gonzalez, damn good corner. Play on the outside, great hips, smooth hips, very soft hands, can get turnovers, big body. If the Lions think he's BPA, by all means, do that. I just don't necessarily think you have to go cornerback at 6 because of the additions there. So personally, that would be my number 6 option after free agency. But hey, Lions got to do what the Lions got to do. My number 5th option here is going cornerback, Devon Witherspoon. Same with what I was just talking about Christian Gonzalez, right? You don't have to go corner that early. But Devon Witherspoon is a phenomenal talent. He has great speed and to get back if you miss out a position, right back to the receiver. He's got the length and quick ability. He can play outside and in the slot. He reads receivers, route, and anticipates the throws at the first down marker. He's aggressive facing receivers at the line of scrimmage. I think that's why we all love Devon Witherspoon. He's a physical phenom, a guy that is going to punch you in the face. He is literally exactly what you think of a Dan Campbell type of player. I think he would be great in the Honolulu blue and silver, but I would look at other options for the Detroit Lions in this selection at pick 6. More, players that could really help the team out for the now a little bit more and the long haul as well. Let's go ahead and jump into my 4th option here, and this is a newcomer on my list, and that is Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle there out of Northwestern. And why would you say offensive tackle? First off, it is a premium position. It's hard to get a tackle on a football team. But again, Peter Skoronski can play interior this year. He can definitely play the guard position, and we don't know what's going on with Big V. We don't know Graham Glasgow. And if the Lions wanted to move away from Taylor Decker in 2024, it is simple. You can move Peter Skoronski from guard to right tackle in 2024, Penei Sewell from right tackle to left tackle, and your offensive line is still stout, making a position strength continue to be strong, because obviously building through the trenches is the way to go for multiple teams. So I think is definitely an option for the Lions to look that route. Still, I would like to go in the other direction. I love getting the offensive line. I think you can go guard, whether you want to go Osiris Torrance at 18. If you want to go Avila in second round, or maybe Torrance falls to the second round, that's other options for the Detroit Lions. Most definitely that can happen, and I would like it. I would like it. The next prospect I got to talk about here, and I think we all know, is a interesting player. So I'm going to ask you before we get into this, would you draft Jalen Carter at pick 6? With the incident so far, with the vehicle accident, with the bad pro day, let me know in the comments section. Would you draft him? Why for yes and N for no? And that leads me to my number 3 option here, and that is Jalen Carter. I know he has so far had a bad couple of months, right? The accident, you've seen the cam video for the police officer, him lying, his pro day, 9 pounds overweight, looking bad, could not finish the drills. But still, if you look at the man's tape, he was a phenomenal disruptor on the interior of the defensive line. Before all this negative stuff happened, he was my number 1 prospect in this year's draft over everybody. And it's a need for the Lions. So literally you're getting the number 1 rated physical prospect at a position that's the number 1 need. It's a win-win. But with the issues that he's occurred, he has fallen a little bit for me for the Lions' options, and I honestly do believe the Lions potentially could pass on taking Jalen Carter. I really do, but still, the Lions got to meet with them. They got to check all the boxes. They got to research this guy to make sure he wouldn't be a Nick Fairley. So again, I'm going to ask you, would you draft Jalen Carter? Why for yes and N for no? This is going to be a major comment for this video. I want to know what you think. My number 2 option, and I think this is the most absolute realistic option here, is the Detroit Lions drafting Tyree Wilson here out of Texas Tech. The links for him to Detroit has been significant. He has been a high riser since the end of the college season. He has the prototypical body type, size, and length, can help stop the run while getting to the passer, and he does get better each year that he's been in college. He has. Now, he's only played in 35 games through his college career, 76 solo tackles, a total of 121, 17 sacks, but this past season, he played in 10 games, so there's the injury concern. 36 solo tackles, 61 total in 7 sacks. You can see him getting better every single game that he played. You've seen the growth from a young college career all the way until this past year. And the Lions would be a team that would like to get a person who hits the quarterback at pick 6, right? They're looking to get another bookend potentially for Aiden Hutchinson. That's what they would like to have, is a dominant defensive line. If you look what they have done in the trenches, they've built the offensive line, they built the defensive line. They love the big body men up front, and their philosophy is built through the trenches. And when you have a selection like at pick 6, you want to make sure you get somebody that can disrupt offenses. And Tyree Wilson could be an option for the Detroit Lions, a realistic one. Absolutely no doubt. And if he's available and my number 1 option is not available, I fully expect Tyree Wilson, if they don't trade back, to be the selection. I truly do. I think if the Lions stay there and my number one option's not there, this is who they go ahead and get. So let's go ahead and get into my number one option. But before we get into my number one option, how would this happen? You're going to say there's no way this guy could fall. But if you look in this up-and-coming NFL draft, there's a possibility 4 quarterbacks could go in the top 4. You have the Carolina Panthers taking a quarterback. You have the Houston Texans taking a quarterback. A lot of reports, and I've been saying this for months on my channel, that the Titans would love to trade up. I have them trading up with the Lions quite a bit in my mock drafts. But the report came out, they're looking to trade to number 3. If that occurs, they're getting a quarterback. So they would move from 11 to 3, select a quarterback. Guess what? At 4, the Indianapolis Colts need a quarterback. So it legitimately could be a C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis going 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks, who could take my number 2 ranked guy in Tyree Wilson. They like Tyree Wilson. It has been reported that they like Tyree Wilson. They want to get a guy who is versatile. And boy, oh boy, if that happens, guess what, folks? Guess what? The number one option could happen, and that is Will Anderson falling to the Detroit Lions at pick 6. If this happens, you see that picture there. I didn't even put him in his college uniform. I put him in a Lions uniform because that would be run up, hand the card in, put Will Anderson opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and you have a kick-ass pass rush duo, young players wreaking havoc in the NFC North for years to come. So if you really want to get a Will Anderson, you need to hope that a team like the Titans trade up to 3 and the Seattle Seahawks think that Tyree Wilson is a better option for them. If Will Anderson is there, it would be a phenomenal pick. And you say there's no way this to happen. Well, there's no way Aiden Hutchinson was supposed to fall to 2. There was no way Penei Sewell was to fall to the Lions. So, could we do 3 for 3 of no way things happening? It's possible. Unlikely. But one like me can wish. It is absolutely a possible option. Folks, we got videos dropping here every single day. Stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Why? Because breaking news can happen. Latest rumors can happen. If a trade happens, like the Titans moving up to 3, I'm going to be making a video on it because it affects the Detroit Lions in a significant way. So make sure you hit that notification bell. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Hit that like button because it does help the channel out. With that said, adios.